Hello, everyone. Welcome here. Today, we are going to play some Zoo Tycoon. Once our definitely 100% real Windows 98 computer finished booting. Anyway, last time we had started the second to last scenario, and unfortunately for us, we still have an entire in-game year of that to finish. However, the problem is that we have nothing to do during that entire in-game year. There is just nothing that needs to be done. We have all the money we could ever imagine. We have nice exhibits. Reasonably well decorated core zoo area. I suppose we could make a few exhibits larger or something, but yeah, there's just not a whole lot of stuff to do remaining. Which one is exhibit 2? Oh, he shares with the lion, with the tiger there, okay. Okay. Hello, survey. Welcome here. Alright, looks like we're done all the research in the game. Yeah. We've got an entire year of sitting around with nothing to do. Oh well. I do wish they would unlock the ability to get some more animals in this scenario once you've finished it. Because we can't build new exhibits. I guess we could build larger exhibits. Flamingos are a pretty extravagant one. As do the crocodiles, honestly. Some of the rest of these are kind of small, though. But, like, there's no reason to do that. Oh. How many idiots do we have in the zoo right now? 766. Okay. I would be very shocked if we didn't end up hitting 1,000 guests. Well, I do have the entrance fee cranked up pretty high, so maybe not. I could crank it up even more to help make sure it doesn't get that high. Because there's definitely something to be said for keeping our zoo population reasonable. After all, it's not a very large zoo. How many flamingos do I have anyway? A lot. Looks like I have 10 of them. Okay, we definitely don't need that many. Cut it down to 4. Because 4 flamingos is plenty. Okay. Or I guess I could make the elephant exhibit larger or something if I cared, but... I don't really at the end of the day. Ugh. So animal theater is making a lot of money for an animal theater. Surprising number of guests that aren't actually topped out on happiness. And there doesn't seem to be an obvious reason why they would have 97 instead of 100. Okay, we do have some hungry guests. We're probably getting slightly overloaded in restaurant. Maybe I should move the leopards and put another restaurant right in here. Or better yet, the Bengal tigers. It's definitely an option. I don't think I need to worry about it though. I don't remember what the breakpoints are for this. I should probably look them up. We bumped up to the next breakpoint. I don't know. I mean, guest happiness is holding pretty steady at 97. And those hungry ones went away. So we're not actually having any serious issues with guest needs not being met. It's just that we're kind of probably at the edge of how many people we can support with our current amenities. Yeah, I don't know. I could put an existing, or put another restaurant here and over here probably if I needed to. Easily. And with a little bit of work I could fit another one over here as well. But I don't think that's a very useful approach. Just check for if you have to sell any animals. Looks like we're pretty okay on animal counts right now. I think I sized this for 4 crocodiles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, each crocodile is 20 tiles. So that looks about right. Yeah, if I was going to make the elephant enclosure bigger, realistically I'd have to move that restaurant. That's not going to happen. Okay, we finished off the conservation programs. We have 300,000 in available cash. Guest happiness is... Oh, I was about to say it went up to 98, but then it went back down to 97. Guest happiness is doing fine, TM. We're holding steady at 770 something guests. It was 77 last time I checked. It's 76 now. So that looks fine. Okay, well. Oh, baby black bear. How are we doing with exhibit repairs? 3 exhibits are damaged. Okay, that's not bad. Ooh. 2 maintenance workers seem plenty for this zoo. Yeah. You know, of all the various exhibits I build in this game, I almost always end up liking the large water ones best. They provide more opportunities to make them visually interesting, without having them being completely stuffed full of trees and shit. Because once you fill them up with trees, then you can't see into them very well, and it just makes them more boring. Like hippo flamingo is always fun because, well, it's a large semi-water exhibit. Well, I guess any large exhibit is kind of more interesting than a small one, I suppose. Ugh. Mm. A large savanna exhibit. You can usually put in a small watering hole somewhere in it, and that can be inherently more interesting, and also tufts of grass everywhere instead of giant tall trees, stuff like that. The trees just block too much of the ground inside the exhibit, make it hard to see what's going on inside. Let's see. I suppose you could do a larger black leopard somewhere and use that area for another restaurant or something. Guest happiness is 98 right now. Where would I put a black leopard exhibit if I was going to put a different one in? I guess I could extend this out a little bit and wrap around it. It's not like we don't have plenty of money to spend on this kind of thing. Okay. Okay. Work like a guest can see 10 tiles into an exhibit. I'm not sure if they can see 10 tiles total, in which case we should only have these 9 tiles deep, or if they can see 10 tiles into an exhibit. Okay. This is an absolutely gigantic exhibit. Which is fine. Oops. I might not want to move the black leopards here, though. Maybe we'll move the elephants here. Okay. Oh, baby panda. Well, that's an objective for the next scenario, not this one. These two sides just do not look like they match. But they do. Okay. Okay. This is like 200 and 300 and some odd tiles. This exhibit is absolutely ginormous. And there's only a relatively small viewing area into it. Okay, what do I want to stick in there? I think I'm going to take the elephants, I'm going to put them in here. And then we're going to turn this into a black leopard exhibit. So, let's use the large elephant shelter, because it is a large elephant pen. We have infinite money. Or what might as well be infinite money. So let's just go ahead. Okay. Now. Let's put an elephant log over there. Actually, no. Let's put an elephant log over here. Put an elephant log over there. There we go. Okay. Too much savanna grass. Not enough sand, not enough dirt, not enough fresh water. Let's put their big freshwater watering hole over here, I think. My brain refuses to believe that this fence is the same length as this fence. But I've counted the tiles a bazillion times now, and they are exactly the same length. Okay. Where did that zookeeper I just placed in here go? Okay. Now. Get over there and eat, you idiots. Now, not enough sand, not enough dirt. Not enough fresh water still. Hurry up and clean up the elephant shit so I can turn that tile into water. Okay. Not enough fresh water, not enough sand. Well, how much fresh water do you need? Do you want a whole freaking lake? Oh no, there's only 6 months left. What will I ever do? Surely I won't be able to find anything to do in that amount of time. It's such a tight schedule, we're going to be really cramped to get everything done. Okay. Scatter a little bit of dirt around the water here. Oops. There's too much savanna grass still. Alright, that's probably good enough. Now, for trees. Let's remove a couple of random trees from there. Scatter them out here. More rocks. For some reason, I think they'll probably have enough room to enjoy a large one of those. Maybe even two. They're only at 84% suitability, which is kind of nuts. What do you mean you'd like to have a mate? You have a mate. There's two of you. Whatever. Alright, why is your suitability only 84? Okay, they want more water. I think that we have gotten this exactly right now for terrain. They're at 85 suitability. Let's see, do you guys like thorn bushes? Yes, you do. Okay. Well, that gets them to 85 suitability. Maybe they have too much rock? I mean, technically they did have a little bit too much rock, but that didn't change the suitability at all. What am I missing? Nothing, as far as I can tell. Okay, well, the new larger elephant exhibit has been built. It serves no real purpose except being larger than the old elephant exhibit. It isn't actually any more attractive than the old one. And it will let us move the black leopards. Why do I want to move the black leopards? Because that way I can put a restaurant where they are. You guys like rock caves, don't you? I think you do. Guess we'll find out here in a second. Come on, get out of the damn house. No. You go take care of your new leopard companions. You... Not enough grass, too much rainforest floor. Not enough dirt. Okay. About what I would expect. Okay. Happier with more rocks. Needs more foliage. You guys like foxtail palms? Okay. Okay. That's immediately greatly improved. And they do appear to like the rock cave. They're feeling crowded by too many guests, which is not great. The solution to that's pretty simple. Give them a little bit of a view block. Be happier with more rocks. It's easy enough to arrange. How many rocks do you guys want? That many, apparently. Okay. I don't know why they're complaining about can't find a mate, because the mate's right there. Oh well. Okay. Let's get rid of all these foxtail palms. Preferably without deleting anything else. I think that's all of them. Now, can I fit a restaurant in there? I probably can't fit the normal restaurant. Nope, it's one tile too big, I think. But I can almost certainly fit a rainforest restaurant. Yep. Alright. Let's just check our scenario objectives again. Looks like everything's great. I'm not sure why the elephant exhibit is exactly at 85. And also why they can't find a mate. Because, like, there's no mentions in their exhibit suitability of things I could do to improve it. I'm pretty sure I have the terrain mix exactly right. Maybe there's a thing for having too large of an exhibit? Surely not. Okay, I'm not sure why I couldn't figure out how to get to the leopard. Okay, there is an open passage there you can get to, so not like he's trapped in the exhibit. Okay. We're already making a small profit at the Rainforest Restaurant, but I kind of would rather it was more centrally located, like over here. But to do that, I'd have to do a lot more shuffling than when I just moved these guys. I could have moved the Bengal Tigers over here instead. That probably would have been a better decision, but oh well. Oh well. Yeah, I really don't think there's anything left that I want to do to this. We're at 430,000 money already. How many people do I have in the zoo? 811. Okay. We've gone up like 40 people since last time I looked. Has a caretaker ever been eaten? They can't be. You cannot feed zookeepers to the animals, unfortunately. The way guests getting eaten works is that animals have a list of prey animals that they will eat. And there is a guest animal that is listed in there if they can eat guests. There's some kind of interesting prey relations that you might not immediately consider. For example, hippos are predators for certain things, which I discovered when I accidentally had some animals escape through a broken fence into the hippo exhibit and get, quote, eaten, end quote, in a previous scenario. But in general, it's more or less as you would assume. However, I'm pretty sure they won't actually go out of their way to eat a prey animal unless they are hungry or otherwise unhappy. Not sure what the actual rules are for it, though. It's pretty hard to get guests eaten, unfortunately. Anyway, welcome here, Soup Stalker. We have most of 6 months left to wait before we can escape this scenario. It is definitely this game's biggest failing that you're stuck here until okay. Let's sell some of these animals. Let's sell all but a pair, matter of fact. We'll keep 9 and 10. Okay. Oh, I have more black bears than I thought I did. I thought I had 3. Okay. How many meese do we have? 2. Okay, good. We have 3 pandas. Which means we should just go ahead and straight up win the next scenario too, right? Because the next scenario, the main objective is to breed the giant pandas. And we have succeeded in doing that. Unfortunately, that's not how that works. Oh well. I really would like to know why this is only 85 though. You guys should have higher suitability than 85. They've got rocks, the right amount even. I'm pretty certain that I have exactly the right ratio of terrain. And even if it wasn't, this is such a large exhibit that it would have to be extremely off to lose that much. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose we can try rock tweaking a little bit more. Okay. That should be exactly the right amount of rocks. Now. That surely didn't even gain us a single percentage point. Nope. Surely it's not because we have 2 swinging log toys. No. It's not because of large elephant shelter versus small, is it? What about large termite mound versus just large rocks? Okay. Oh. They did raise suitability a little bit. They're 86 now instead of 85. Okay, that's good. I could probably get a little higher by replacing the thorn bushes with baobab trees. Maybe vice versa. I wonder what their actual numbers are for the trees. I guess I could look it up if I cared enough. I don't really, though. There. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna bother to put any benches in. I was thinking about it for a little bit, and yeah, I don't think so. I will, however, put a decorative flower bed in there. Okay. I should probably get a repair crew over here. That fence has been damaged for quite a while. Oh, they just repaired it. Okay. I think all of the exhibits are repaired now. Yeah, they are. It just hadn't updated yet. More flamingos. I just sold a ton of them. I kind of wish that more animals were compatible with each other, so you could do more shared exhibits. Flamingo drumsticks. Let's see. I don't think there's a chicken, quote unquote, stand available. No, you can have burgers, you can have pizza, you can have hot dogs. But there's no chicken. Because that would be pretty funny. A giant flamingo exhibit just full of flamingos and then have a chicken stand. Like, have a path where not way to the middle of the exhibit and have a chicken stand at the end of it. Alas, there is no chicken stand. Although you could probably make one without too much trouble using mods. Not that I'm going to spend my time modding this game. Oh well. Ugh. Use one of the more modern zoo tycoon simulator type games. Planet Zoo or whatever the best one is currently. And set up a zoo where you have an appropriately themed food stand for every major exhibit. Mods would almost certainly be required, but still. Oh. This is making me think of Kit Chicken Lamaine. Once upon a time, many years ago, we were going to town for shopping. And after the shopping, we were headed to the Chinese takeout place to get something to bring home with us. And Dad, being the kind of person that he is, was making Kitten Lamaine jokes in the van on the way there. And he almost ordered Kitten Lamaine. He had it in his head and was it almost said it. According to him, at least in later telling, it got like halfway out before he corrected it, the chicken. I'm pretty sure that Mom did not notice it at the time of the almost making of the air, but she definitely had things to say about it later when he was telling the story. I wonder how many years ago that would have been, actually. Because it would have been a long time ago. Might have even been early 2000s. Speaking of early 2000s, I was putting in the stream title today. I almost set the title to Waiting Tycoon 2021. And then my brain went, hey, wait, it's 2001, you fool. And then I felt old. Oh well. It's like this game, 2001. It did not require blazing hardware back then. It ran on solidly pretty old computers for the era when it came out new. So it was not exactly a demanding game of its time or anything like that. But look at it. Looks pretty good. Graphics are nice. There's not really a huge amount of objects you can place. Decorations are a bit limited. Exhibit foliage. There's variety, but it's not huge. There's not that many different kinds of animals or anything like that. But the graphics are pretty okay for what they are. And what's there functions very solidly. Why in the hell am I back to having 4 black bears? I just sold a bunch of black bears. Well, let's sell more black bears. Okay. We should probably sell more flamingos too before we end up with way too many of them. I can probably ignore that problem to the end of the game though. Why do a maintenance worker who appears to be stuck over here? Go over there. Their pathfinding is not amazing. Where's the other maintenance worker? Over here. Okay. But really, it would not be very hard to make a game in the current day that matched all the features this one has. But a little bit better. Just take everything and turn it up a little bit. And it'd be perfectly fun to play. The problem with games nowadays is that they think they have to do too much. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind if they do more. But also, there's something to be said for a certain amount of simplicity. Like for a game like this, you could make it cheaper nowadays if you made it full 3D instead of 2D. And that would get you some things like smoother camera movement and stuff like that for free. You know, zooming in and out easily, stuff like that. Because making all this 2D art is not... You have to make it... Well, depends on how they originally made it. They probably rendered it from 3D models using fixed cameras and then touched it up by hand. Most likely. But then you also have to worry about things like layering and stuff like that. as you are drawing everything. Like 2D is kind of a pain in the ass in a lot of ways. And there's a reason why a lot of old 2D games are a bit janky. Let's see if I can find a spot where we've got some obvious layering bugs going on. There's not really anything super notable. Oh, right here. You can see the tree is hanging over the fence. Sort of. Here, the fence is over top of the tree, and here the tree is over top of the fence. And there's this nice straight, smooth line between the two. That's because... if you zoom in, you can see even better. That's because, due to the draw order, it tries to draw from back to front, and whatever heuristic it's using to decide what is behind what, thinks that this tree is ahead of this fence. There's not really a good way to do that and be 100% correct all the time. So eventually, at some point, you just kind of got to accept some cases like this and move on. Like here, we have another much smaller copy of the issue. This fence thinks it's in front of the tree, and this fence thinks it's behind it. Right here, we have a little draw order issue between the two fences in the corner. This one I don't think you could really solve very well. You'd have to draw like a third piece in the corner or something to hide it better. Or you'd have to have a special transition texture that combines these two onto a single tile. And then you'd have to generate a whole ton of them, and it would be a colossal pain in the ass and rather unrealistic to do. It's better just to have tiny, weird-looking bits like that that most people are never going to see or care about. It's an acceptable bit of roughness. Guest happiness is at 92. Uh-oh. Let's go ahead and raise our... admission price. There's nobody obviously unhappy. So why would guest happiness have dropped to 92? Well, if we stop letting new people in, that should fix itself, hopefully. Darn well better fix itself. Why are you only 80 happiness? Giant panda looks upset. Oh. The baby panda grew up. Okay, well that should solve itself in short order. Okay, guess happiness is back up to 93. Solving the giant pandas looking upset is probably all I really need to do there. But reducing people in the park is definitely not going to hurt. We have 125 zoo benefactors. We're making like 20K, well, more like 19K a month on concessions. Private donations are bringing in tens of thousands. Okay. Only 1 month left to complete the scenario. Let's check our objectives real quick. Everything's fine. As long as our guest happiness doesn't go back down, it's up to 94 now, so it's definitely headed the right direction. Okay. Okay. $650,000 money. If this was a freeform game, we could delete the whole zoo and build a whole new, much larger, much fancier zoo with this much cash. It'd be a little bit annoying to move all the guests out of the way, so I could restructure the paths. We probably wouldn't want to do it all in one go, but I could definitely flatten the whole thing completely and pick a corner and start laying out gigantic, huge, amazing exhibits. There's nothing stopping me from doing that here, other than that I don't want to. Guest happiness is up to 96. Okay, good. The panda unhappiness and oh, that was probably the main thing, honestly. Anyway, we're almost done. And then we can move on to the last scenario. Even more flamingos? I probably have too many flamingos in here now. Nope, still not. Okay. Well, it's not counting the baby flamingos against them, but yeah. This restaurant's pulling in pretty decent money. Almost 3,000 a month in profit. That's really solid for any restaurant. This one's doing insane business though. How many people do we have? 680 people in the zoo. Okay. Well, I probably want to lower the emissions again, but I also don't want to lower the emissions because, well, the guest happiness is 97 and we could absorb some more people. We're very close to the end of the scenario and I don't want to accidentally crash guest happiness. Like if I lower emissions back down, we'll probably be, well, I mean, we would be fine long term, definitely. But we'd probably drop to the mid-low 90s before it came back up. And I don't want to chance it dropping to, say, 92 and me losing the scenario by 1 happiness point. Because that would suck. It would suck quite a lot. Okay, animal happiness is 98, guest happiness is 98. Zoo ratings back up to 91. Not that really matters. Yay, we won. Go me. Okay. Breeding the giant pandas. Okay. The Chinese Panda Committee won't even consider your request until you have at least 15 different animal species and highly suitable exhibit. Exhibit suitability rating of at least 90 for 15 exhibits. That means we cannot do a large combined savanna exhibit and have it count for the 15 species. But it doesn't actually matter because 15 exhibits. But we can't make a large shared exhibit that would work for that. So we've got 36 months to get a baby giant panda. However, we can't get giant panda from the beginning. So we've got to get money cranking, build 15 exhibits, then we can get a panda. Shouldn't be an issue, really. Unlike the last scenario, we can adopt whatever animals we want. Okay. We have a giant flat grassy plain. This is not necessarily the worst starting layout. However, I don't like food courts like this. I prefer to have restaurants. So we're going to delete all of this shit. And we're going to turn it into starting money. We have 70,000 starting money plus whatever this is going to get us. Looks like another 10K. Okay. 84,700. Let's level that little bump that's in the middle for no reason. Okay. So we have almost 100,000 to spend on stuff after we get our 10K emergency funds. I should be able to build something pretty nice. Let's do cobblestone path this time. I almost always do brick path, but okay. Yeah, that's 10 tiles, 1 tile gap, path. Make the path double. Run either way along the fence. Okay. And then down the center, we'll do a split path like that. Like so. Now, I want to do split paths like that down the sides too. Yeah, I think I do actually. Okay. Um, Let me think about this some more. Do I want to put a fountain here in the middle? Not yet, obviously, but eventually. Okay, the turtle fountain is not a good idea. We could put an elephant fountain like right there. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the pattern. Okay. Now, exhibits. And amenities. Um, we're going to want restaurants scattered throughout the zoo so that people don't have to walk very far to get to them. I kind of wish I had like a ghost fence that I could build with. It didn't cost anything. It didn't contain animals. But even the cheapest shit decorative fence is not cheap enough to really do that with. It does cost something. The thatched fence is 20. Yeah, no. Not unless I want to spend a bunch on it. Okay, anyway. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would run right up against the center. I don't want to run up that far, though. So if we do that, let me think what I want to put in here. My first instinct is just like stick lions in it. Lions are easy. They're fairly attractive. Yeah, I think we'll stick lions in it. So 3 lions need 60 tiles. If we make it 8 tiles wide, that'll be 60, 70, 78, something like that. The way it's laid out. Yeah. No, let's not do it that way. I was thinking about leaving a little notch back in here and then I could connect it directly to whatever exhibit's beside it. But then I couldn't get maintenance workers inside of it to fix the fences, and that would end up being an issue. So we will instead put the entrance over there. Or over there, actually, probably be good. All right. Now, let's put the good old concrete shelter here in the back corner. There we go. That was a little weird. Good old small lion rock here in the front. And let's see if I can remember the ratios for lions. For a 60 tile exhibit, which this is not, but anyway, it is like 3 tiles of water, 3 of sand, 8 of dirt or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly. We'll do this for now. And I'm going to stick a couple lions in there and we'll tweak it afterwards. Okay. Too much savanna grass. Okay. That should be good enough. Foliage. They like good old umbrella thorn. It's not the cheapest tree, but anything to get that nice little boost of cash for highly suitable exhibit. Damn it, I shouldn't have placed that second tree. I should have deleted or undid the other one before I did place another one. Okay. We're very close to suitability. Boom, 15K. All right, that almost but not quite paid for everything we've done so far. We're about 10,000 in the hole compared to where we were. Where do I want the first restaurant to go? There's a really strong argument to be made for putting the restaurant right here, like this. Like that. And then putting the next exhibit up against this. It would give us a little bit of space back here to use for whatever. It would keep the restaurant off of the main thoroughfare. Yeah, we're going to do that. What animal do I want next, though? Let's do African warthog. I don't remember how much space an African warthog takes up. Ah. Red kangaroo would be another good one. Computer, what is the density number for the African warthog?
The African warthog has an animal density of 12, according to the exhibit formula. Exhibit tiles equals animal density times number of animals. So, for example, 4 warthogs would need 48 tiles.
That seems really low. 12? Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll assume that's correct. Because I did make the database myself, so it probably is. Okay, 20, 30, 40, 50. If I do 100 tile exhibit, it's like this should be able to hold 4 warthogs, but warthogs breed like rabbits. Computer? Computer? What are the maximum number of warthogs per exhibit?
Six. That's the number max value for the African warthog.
Okay. I had one more row. Let's see. This will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 tiles. 4 of them would be 48. Yeah, so this should hold 5 warhogs. And if I put them next to the kangaroos, we can just continue using short fence. To hold the 6th warthog, I need to add 2 more rows, so I don't think that's worthwhile. What other animals would I want to put beside them? Like kangaroos are an option, but they're not necessarily the option. Cheetah requires a huge, expensive exhibit, so we probably won't want those. We could do like Komodo dragon. That'd be a really attractive exhibit. Or we could do saltwater crocodile, which would be a cheap exhibit. Yeah, I think we'll use short fence beside it. Okay. Got a couple of really good short fence options. And we'll just put the gates back here so they can get across there easily. And we'll put in a pair of warhogs. And a pair of burrows, which would hold more than we could fit in here, but anyway. Too much grass, not enough savanna grass, not enough dirt. Not enough fresh water. More shelters than necessary. Well, they'll have to get over the more shelters than necessary thing. Okay, these guys like 70% of their exhibit is dirt. Remember correctly? I suppose I could find out for sure, but it doesn't really matter. Not enough sand. Okay. Needs more foliage. What do you guys want for foliage? You want thorn bushes. Okay, that's great. Okay, they don't want much of it then. More rocks. Okay. Oh, we got to get 90% at least on every single exhibit. That is going to be an issue. I just realized. Because some of these exhibits are some animals you just straight up are almost impossible to get 90 on. So we're going to have to pick and choose our animals with care. Okay. Now, we need an exhibit out here. Let's set up to suck more people in. Zoo rating's 80 already. Guest happiness is already 81. That's quite solid. Let's see. What would be a nice third animal to add? Kangaroo are pretty cheap and attractive. Computer, how many tiles does each kangaroo need, and how many kangaroos in a herd?
The red kangaroo is the only kangaroo in the database. Each animal uses
that.
20 tiles, which is the animal density. Herd size ranges from 1 to 3, with a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 3.
That doesn't really fit the description of medium-sized groups, but anyway. Okay, so we'll just do like I don't know, pair of kangaroos. Computer? It didn't trigger, actually. Okay. Yes. I have been playing around with some random bullshit, and I got, oh, I got some stuff to work. It's kind of cool, but also it's not very well done because, after all, I did it in an afternoon, so. Local LM? No, it actually calls out the DeepSeek. It calls to my, well, some of it's local, but the actual model, it uses what's called agent communication protocol to talk to my standard agent harness I would normally use. And that's currently configured to use DeepSeek by default. Because it's super cheap. The text to speech and speech to text is all local, though. As well as the trigger word stuff and things like that. Which the trigger word's not very reliable, but at least it doesn't seem to trigger when it shouldn't. Although I did add some functionality for that I wish that that I had wished for back when I was using other voice assistants on my phone before I decided they were retarded and not useful. Many years ago. Namely, I can computer, cancel command, like that. If you accidentally trigger it, you can tell it to go away. Which is something I used to very much wish for back when I was using Google's stupid bullshit. The thing would trigger and you'd have to tell it to go away and it wouldn't listen to you half the time. Do I want to do minimum size kangaroo or do I want to go slightly larger? Let's do minimum size for maximum number of kangaroos, aka 3. Which would be 60 tiles. Okay, these guys like a mix of dirt and savanna grass. We'll go ahead and add a pair of kangaroos. We'll give them a zookeeper. But anyway, the real problem with running, if I was going to run a local LLM for everything, I would want to run it on the game machine because that's the one with the big graphics card. And that is obviously unsuitable for a variety of reasons. Like I do occasionally use the game machine for local LLMs, but not very often. Requires too much fiddling about. Okay. Do these guys want any water? I don't think so. Just some dirt and sand. Maybe they want water, but if they do, they're going to have to suck it up. I forgot. Kangaroos need tall fence, not short fence. Because they jump. For some reason, I keep thinking they need short fence. They do not need short fence. They need tall fence. Oh well, easy fix. Somewhat expensive, but easy fix. Get your asses back in there. Okay. Would you like a little bit of water? You would actually. Okay. Emphasis on a little bit. Not enough shelters. More rocks, more foliage. Okay. What kind of shelter do you guys like again? Probably small wood is good enough. Lean-to might be fine. Let's try lean-to. Okay, they like lean-tos. Good. We got to get this suitability to 90. Which might be tricky. I just realized I'm not sure if kangaroos... Not sure how picky they are. Okay, what kind of tree do you like? Hard dong or something like that. Which unfortunately is a full tile tree. So we're not going to get free suitability from that. $87. $88. Computer, what are the red kangaroo's foliage preferences? List all of them. It's got to query the database, and it's got to think about it for a little bit. And then it has to round trip the text that it generates again so it can summarize it and format it for text-to-speech.
The red kangaroo has 16 foliage entries ranked by suitability at +10. The most preferred options are bald cypress tree, hard
Those aren't real.
quandong tree, horsetail, water lily, and water reed. The hard quandong tree is the top choice. At +7 is eucalyptus tree. At +2 are grass tree and red gum tree. At -8 are acacia kaffir tree, baobab tree, kedri tree, tall grass, thorn acacia tree, thorn bush, umbrella thorn tree, and yellow fever tree. The preferred foliage is the hard quandong tree, with a suitability of 10.
That's pretty suitable. Unfortunately, I can get slightly better than that. I can get to 89 using these stupid red gums. I need 90. Okay, sometimes you can add more foliage than they technically like. Okay, that gets us 91. Sometimes you can add more foliage than they technically like, and they will be happy with it. As long as it's a quarter tile tree and you add more than one. Anyway. I was originally going to retrain the thing to respond to "Hey Idiot," to better reflect how I actually think of it. But it turned out that training the trigger word like that, while something I could totally do, would have taken more work than I was willing to put into it. So alas, we're stuck with... well, there's actually quite a long list of pre-trained words I found available. So I'm using the same trigger word system that Home Assistant does. And some people have trained some pretty wild things into it. Some of which have better accuracy than others, of course. Let's see. What should we do for the next animal? And where should I put it? Oh yeah. The mystery animal. I almost forgot we have this. It's very expensive. But here we go. We have the unicorn. They are very attractive. But they're very expensive. We will not be putting a unicorn in yet, but we will eventually have unicorns in this zoo. Once we have, plenty of space and such like for them. Speaking of plenty of space and such like. Hippo flamingo? No, because we won't be able to hit 90. We could do a couple of Bengal tigers over here in the corner. They're going to want 70 tiles each for pairs, I believe. I think they're 70 tiles each. In any case, they're not smaller than that. Or not larger than that, I mean. They might be smaller than that. I don't think they are, though. How many tiles do I have before the wall? Okay, we got 12 tiles to the wall. Which means we could fit two 60-tile exhibits in there. Or, in the alternative, we could make a corner here and put some much larger exhibit in the corner, which is probably what I'll end up doing. So let's go back over to here. And let's put in... I don't really want to have the corner exhibit be the Bengal tigers. Because for the corner, I kind of want some big, super attractive, super cool exhibit. With some animal that doesn't mind lots of people looking at it. Which, like, Komodo dragon would not be the worst in the world. Computer, what is the animal density for the Komodo dragon?
"20 tiles per Komodo dragon."
Computer, what is the group size for the Komodo dragon?
Numbers 1 through 3, with the minimum set to 1 and the maximum set to 3.
Okay. So up to 60 tiles. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to do 99 tiles. Which should be plenty. Okay. And I am going to put in a pair of Komodo dragons. Not enough sand, not enough rainforest, not enough gray stone, not enough fresh water. Too much grass, okay. They don't need a shelter, I don't think. Let's give them a nice little lake here in the corner. I don't remember how much water they want. That's probably roughly correct. We'll give them a bit of a sandy beach here. Okay. Gray stone. Just inland from the beach. And then we'll go ahead and make the back area not enough rainforest for, too much grass, too much fresh water. Okay. Okay, that's our symbol that there's too much of that. Gray stone. Okay. Okay. That's a good step in the right direction. Now, give him a few rocks. They don't like I removed that rock. That's fine. They'll get over it in a second here. Alright, foliage. What kind of foliage do they like? Mangroves. Excellent. That's a nice, reasonably decently cheap tree. Where did the damn zookeeper I placed specifically for these guys wander off to? You there. Go take care of your charge. Okay, you better be over 90. They're at 99 suitability. Okay. Good deal. That's a nice, attractive exhibit. Because Komodo dragons are pretty attractive. Computer? 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 What is the attractiveness of Komodo dragons?
'80. Attractiveness.
Like I said, they're very attractive. I didn't think they were quite that high, though. Okay. Now, beside the Komodo dragon, what was I going to put in? Bengal tigers, that's right. They need to be 70 tiles, and they need to be nice, tall. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might as well start researching some stuff. Yeah, let's get daily funding cranking on this stuff. We need to research pretty much everything in this list here. Conservation, research some endangered animals, that's all I really care about. No, we do need exhibit foliage as well for the pandas later. Okay. That should do it. Okay. I really wish you could assign zookeepers to exhibits that didn't contain animals. Oh well. We don't have the white Bengal tiger anyway. I kind of want the white Bengal tiger to be beside the normal Bengal tiger. So because they're identical exhibits. But we'll deal with that as we go. Can I fit anything else back in here beside that restaurant? Oh, I forgot to put in a okay. I'm pretty sure... Oh, I can actually, theoretically, fit a carousel back here. Realistically, no, but theoretically I could. Can I fit a gift shop back here? No. Okay. I mean, I could, but it'd block too much stuff. I could maybe fit the Arctic gift shop without blocking anything I care about. Unfortunately, I don't like the Arctic gift shop's appearance. So we're not sticking that back there. Okay. Yeah, I have to think about where I want to put in another little amenity plaza. so that I can actually fit some more stuff in. Anyway, that's not my worry right now. Bengal tigers. Breeding pair, because of course. Sign zookeeper. Give them a shelter. They like... Is it 6 water? No, it's more than that. That was a bit more than I needed, though. Okay, do they want dirt or anything like that? Yes, they do. Okay. Okay. That should be close enough. And then these guys definitely like mangroves. I think that's a reward for having a lot of very happy guests. Yeah, we probably hit 95 guest happiness for a moment. .96 suitability, good enough for who it's for. All right. Now, do I want to put in another exhibit directly beside it, or do I want to leave a little bit of space so that I can fit another building in? I think if I leave a little bit of space, we can stick a carousel there. I'll put the carousel in sideways like that. Okay, let's do some other calculations first. Okay, first of all, I think I want the corner to be right here. Yeah. So we don't actually have that much space here in this corner for stuff. We actually don't even have enough for another set of tigers if I wanted to put any in. We only have 50 tile exhibit space here in the corner. Alternatively, this could be a guest plaza. The problem with that is that it's a bit of dead space around the corner where the people on the inside track can't see animals, which I want to keep those dead spaces as small as possible. What would be a good, reasonably We could put in saltwater crocodiles here in the corner, actually. Computer, what is the density for the saltwater crocodile?
"20 tiles per animal."
Yeah, okay. So we could fit a pair of them in here. Unless I made it double length. Which is an entirely reasonable thing to do. Computer, what is the saltwater crocodile group size?
"2 to 3, with the minimum number set to 2 and the maximum number set to 3.
That seems odd. Really? Not sure if I believe that. We'll look at the AI files. Let's see. I have to try to figure out what they named the file. Is it just crocodile, or is it saltwater crocodile, or is it S crocodile, or... SW croc. Okay, there we go. Number of animals min 2, number of animals max 3. Okay. Alright, well then we just want a double crocodile exhibit. Alright, we'll assign that its own zookeeper. These guys, I remember their exhibit formula very well. They're very, very simple. I think I accidentally put saltwater in the neighbor pen. For the basic 40 tile exhibit, it's 8 tiles of dirt. So basically, they need 2 tiles of dirt for every 8 tiles of saltwater. I believe that is it. Beyond adding the water reeds. If we check these guys, more foliage, more rocks. Yep, their terrain's already perfect. These guys are super happy to keep, well, or super easy to keep happy. You are assigned to the crocodiles. And I might have you take care of other things later, but for now, that's the only thing that's in this area. Okay. Okay. 89. Really? Hopefully we can bump it up by... Okay, that works. Well, we hit 90 suitability. That's all that matters. All right. White Bengal tiger. What do I want to be in the corner here? I want something huge and impressive, I think. And being right beside the saltwater croc... No. Damn it, I was almost going, oh yeah, we should put the hippo flamingo exhibit there. No. Hippo flamingo is bad. Because we can't hit 90%. So no hippo flamingo. We could do hippo. But no hippo flamingo. And if I can't do hippo flamingo, I probably don't want to do hippo either. I was about to say we could do elephants, but... I don't know if I could hit 90 on an elephant exhibit. I mean, I probably could, I guess. I hope I could. A pair of elephants need 100 tiles. Computer? Computer? Come on, you piece of shit. Computer. You didn't crash, did you? No, you didn't crash. You're just ignoring me. Computer.
No problem. Happy to help anytime.
That's... piece of shit. Computer. Why is it all of a sudden not triggering? I need to get a better trained trigger word thing. At this point, I could have just tabbed out and went and looked up myself. I was going to look up the group size for the elephants. Computer? Now I really do want to... Okay, there's thing for maintaining animals for 6 months or whatever I think it is. Now I do want to train one that's like respawn to piece of shit or something like that. How the hell many warthogs do we have in this? Okay, apparently the warthogs are happy because we have 8 of them now. That's a few more than we really have space for. Just saying. Okay. I don't remember how many warthogs I left space for in here. We'll leave 4 for now. Okay. Computer? Why are you not triggering? Computer? Computer? What is the group size for the African elephant? Okay, now it triggers.
2 to 6, where the minimum number is 2 and the maximum number is 6.
6, huh? That's a lot of elephants. That would be 300 tiles. Computer? Computer? How much would it cost to cover 300 tiles with savanna grass? It wouldn't
$70
actually.
per tile times 300 tiles comes to $21,000.
Okay. It would be cheaper than that because some of it would be water, some of it would be dirt. We could totally do a maximum size elephant exhibit here in this corner. And it would be really cool. But also, that would be insanely expensive. Screw it, we're doing it. Because what's the point if we can't go nuts occasionally? Okay, that's 120, 130, 140, 150, 40, 50. Okay, there's 200, 250, 300. Holy exhibit. This is probably going to be the largest exhibit I've ever made. And we're only going to stick like 3, maybe 4 elephants in here and let the rest breed to fill it, hopefully. Okay. I do have the small elephant shelter. I'll have to replace that with a large one later. Computer, how many water tiles would a 300 tile elephant exhibit need?
$45 freshwater tiles. That's 15% of the 300 total tiles, based on the elephant's terrain suitability breakdown.
It's a lot of water. Okay. So what, 36? Okay. Computer, and how many sand tiles?
30 sand tiles, which is 10% of the total 300 tiles.
Okay. Computer, and how many dirt tiles? Now it's triggering.
30 dirt tiles, that's also 10%.
That's 12. Okay. And the rest should all be savanna grass. I kind of wish there was a fill tool. I am going to be very unhappy if it turns out that we can't hit 90% suitability in this. But I should be able to, so. I should be able to. Oops, I erased a dirt tile. Okay. 16,000 monies spent on elephants. Just their terrain. We haven't even started in on the actual elephant costs yet. We can buy 2 elephants. And they are going to need a dedicated keeper. Okay, they're at 77% suitability. They at least won't be unhappy. We get our 10,000 emergency cash. Computer? Computer? What are the elephants' foliage preferences? I think they like thorn bushes and baobab trees, but mostly baobab trees. We'll scatter a few of those around.
African elephant foliage preferences. The highest suitability is +12 for the baobab tree, which is the preferred choice. Next is +10 for bald cypress tree, horsedale, water lily, and water reed. Then
Those aren't real.
+3 for thorn bush and yellow fever tree. -3 for thorn acacia tree. And the lowest is -8 for eucalyptus tree, grass tree, hard quandon tree, kedri tree, and red gum tree.
Okay, theoretically thorn bush should be identical. That gets us to 84. Computer? What about rock preferences? Maybe they have a specific rock they like. Probably not, though.
African elephants have rock preferences. A large rock gives a +6, and that's their favorite. A medium rock or a small rock each give a +3. All rocks are positive, so there are no disliked rocks.
Oh, well, that means small rocks are definitely better. Because 4 small rocks are directly equivalent to 1 large. Which means under no circumstance do I want to place any large rocks. 88. Damn it. Okay. If I remove a couple baobabs and put in more thorn bushes, does that change a thing? No, it makes it worse. Okay. Let's remove all the thorn bushes. Okay. That gets us 86 as well. Okay. 87 for replacing one baobab with one thorn bush. Let's work at this systematically. Still at 87. I don't think there's any way I'm going to gain 3. No, the train's perfect. All right, let me look something up. There's got to be a way to get... Okay. Maybe we can get there if we do enough thorn bush shenanigans. Apparently it is well known that it is actually impossible to hit 100 suitability with the African elephant. Okay, we're at 89. Come on, I just want 90 suitability. There we go, 90 suitability. Let's see if we can get a little tiny bit of buffer. $91. Okay, good enough. All right, technically you should be able to fit 4 more African elephants in there eventually. And that sucked all of our money out of us. It's probably time to get a second restaurant. Yeah, it's probably time to start branching out to the other side of the zoo some. I kind of want to head around the corner and head back up this way and fill the back in with stuff. We're about halfway there on the number of exhibits we need. Okay, so here beside the African elephants, we'll put another restaurant. And carousel. I wish I could flip the carousel. But alas. Okay.
Woo!
I don't like this corner doesn't match that corner, but flip it as in put the entrance over in this corner instead of that corner. And I'm pretty sure you knew that already, but oh well. Yeah, this is the next area to fill in. Is there anything relatively small I can stuff in here? No. I could maybe put in a gift shop. Your version is more interesting visual. True. Okay, what do I want to stuff up in this corner? We do have the white Bengal tiger available now. So I could put one of those here in the corner. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. I don't have the money to build all the whole fence. Okay. We are a very poor zoo, alas. I believe the Bengal tiger likes the rock cave. Let's find out real quick. What do you mean the rock cave doesn't fit in there? The concrete shelter's 2x2 as well, right? Yes. Oh. This isn't 2x2. Okay. Whatever. I'm pretty sure Bengal tigers like the rock cave. Yeah, it's probably going to take us like a year and a half, maybe, to get all 15 exhibits down. And then we'll have a whole year and a half or so to do nothing but build panda exhibits and hope the little bastards do the thing. You know what? I'm going to change the way this is laid out. Gonna leave a little passage back here. And then I'm going to move this over like a tile or two. One tile's plenty. And this is going to cost me a ton of money, but alas, that's just the way things are. Come on, people, spend more money in the restaurant. Oh, we got a baby Komodo dragon. Nice. Okay. So this zookeeper is the one that's going to take care of these guys as well. He'll take care of the crocodiles and the... what are you going to call them? Tigers. Okay. Now, it's going to take a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it'll take like 7 or 8 water. I'll assume 7 for now. And then it'll probably take about that much dirt. No, I don't want to do it over there. That should be good. And then most of the rest of this is going to have to be... okay. Some of it is going to stay grass. Not this much, but we'll deal with it later. For now, we just got to wait till we have the money to confirm what we do have. Then we'll add the shelter in. Which is going to go in this corner. And then we'll add some trees. Definitely not enough of them, but some. And then we'll buy our tigers. And then we'll tweak the exhibit to be correct. Right now we have so little money that I don't dare go wasting money on tigers. What are you doing wandering way the hell over there? Stay back here with your exhibit like where you belong. Anyway, there's so little money available that I don't dare buy the animals before it's mostly correct. Otherwise, we could end up with happiness problems. Because animals have a threshold of their exhibit that they're happy with, and if it's under that, then they're unhappy. So one thing that may not be obvious immediately is every time you place a tree, it rotates. I'm sure the idea was to make it so that you wouldn't have a ton of identical trees. I don't know if it applies to all trees, but it definitely applies to the quarter tile ones. And that can be an interesting problem when you're always placing 4 on a tile. If you place them in the same pattern, it can create clumps of identical looking trees. And sometimes, like if you have a tree that leans a particular way, you can figure out what the rotation order is and then place them in that order on the ground and have them all make weird shapes on purpose. Which I've definitely done before. It can be funny sometimes. Okay, how much is it going to cost for a pair of animals? 3,000. Sure, why not? We probably won't be able to buy it this month yet. Nope, it's the 31st. So we'll just let it pile money up to the end of the month, and then next month... Oh, we got a baby elephant. That's very good. How many crocodiles do I have? 4? Okay. Most of them are still babies, so we're fine. Surely I have 1,000,000 lions in here. I do. Alright. Let's get rid of some lions. Alright, lion 1 and 2. You two get sold. That should work out fairly well. We have 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7 are still young. Warthogs, we still only have 4 of them. Okay. Alright, we've got the money to buy the tigers. Now, where is the zookeeper who is responsible for this? This zookeeper is responsible for exhibits 6 and 9. Okay. Suitability is already 86, and we've barely... It would help if I put tall fence between the two, so they don't go try to eat my crocodiles. I know you're really desperate to go eat crocodiles, but I really would rather you didn't, thank you. Too much grass, not enough rainforest floor, too much dirt. Alright. Wait a little bit till we can afford that. That gets us to 91 suitability. We'll add a few more trees, because why not? But I think we're basically done with this exhibit after that. $94, okay, plenty good. They want more foliage and more rocks, but they can suck it up. Alright. What's next? We could put in an anteater or a tapir. They're not terribly attractive, but it's not really that big of a problem either. Okay, that restaurant's making a solid profit. That's what, 8 exhibits? I kind of want to do something cheap. The tapir is probably fairly cheap. Even more lions. Alright, we need to sell some lions. We have 4 baby lions in here. It's a lot of lion. It's not enough shelters. Wine, wine, wine. Alright, I need to pay attention to that so I can sell them off whenever there becomes actually too many lions. AK when all the baby lions grow up. Guest happiness at 97, which is solid. Animal happiness 99. Zoo rating 88. Money is rolling in fast enough that we can actually get things done. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do tapirs. They're pretty boring, but they make a nice filler animal in here. Computer, what is the density and group size of the tapir?
The Malaysian tapir. Each animal needs about 25 tiles of space. They live in groups of 1 to 4.
Okay, 25 tiles. I believe short fence is good for them. Probably going to have a pair of them. There's bamboo. So we can go turn off exhibit foliage. I want to leave it on anyway. Okay. So technically five tiles of fence would be enough if I went all the way to the back wall here, which I'm not going to. So you have to add another one to get a pair of tapers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's assume that we're going to put a 35 tile animal in the corner. And so let's do something like this. And then we back this like so. I want to move that away from the corner a little bit so I can click on it more easily. And then this can be the entrance to whatever we put in the corner here, which will be a nice 70 tile exhibit for probably some kind of cat. Okay. Computer, what are the terrain percentages for the taper? Tapir or whatever. Who cares? It knows what I mean.
The Malaysian tapir is mostly found on rainforest floors, which make up about 70% of its habitat. Grass, dirt, and fresh water each account for about 10%.
Okay. That should get us started. We need about 1,600 for a pair of animals, and we'll probably want that much more to finish the exhibit. The entrance to exhibit 9 is blocked. Did that idiot... Okay, where is the zookeeper who's supposed to be? You. It's not blocked. He just was over here and couldn't figure out a path all the way around. Because he wanders around like a dumbass. Oh, we have way too many Bengal tigers now. Warthogs you still have 4 of. Lions are still... They're all babies, okay. Okay. Now... We've got the money for these bastards. Go ahead and add a zookeeper. More foliage, more grass, too much grass, not enough dirt, not enough rainforest floor, not enough fresh water. Okay. They need roughly 10% fresh water. So that means they should need like 6 or 7 tiles. Looks like it's 8 tiles actually. Okay. Not enough shelters. What kind of shelter do you think these little bastards would like? Computer? What kind of shelter do they need? I don't have the large burrow yet.
Large concrete shelter is the best choice, with a suitability score of +19. It costs $225 and can hold up to 6 animals. The tapir has a need for shelter, so it's required. One large concrete shelter can house a full group of up to 4 tapirs, since its capacity is 6. Other good options include the regular concrete shelter at +16, the wood shelter at +15, and both the large wood shelter at +16 and the small wood shelter at +14.
Yeah, normal concrete's perfectly fine. More rocks, more foliage. What kind of foliage do you guys like? Giant feces tree. um, Mom had some kind of plant with a name similar. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be pronounced ficus or ficus or who knows what. So of course, Dad and I would both call it the giant, or call it a feces plant, which did not endear us very much to her, but I mean, were we really supposed to call it something, anything else? There certainly didn't seem to be much choice to me. And we're out of money. But we're at 90% suitability already, so scatter around a few more trees and maybe a rock, and that'll be that. I might leave this corner open. What are you doing over there? These bastards need to stop wandering. Ugh. But I can't really lock the zookeepers in, because if I do, then the eventual maintenance workers won't be able to get back in here to go inside the exhibits. Oh well. 92 suitability. That's good enough for who it's for. All right. Who's next? Jaguar or clouded leopard would probably fit. Black leopard would almost certainly fit. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we need what, 6 more exhibits? All conservation programs completed. That is perfectly okay. We still have tons of research programs to get through, though. Yeah, I think we'll put some kind of leopard in here. Probably black leopard. The entrance there. We got to make this a tall fence because otherwise the leopards are going to get frisky and try to invade the Komodo dragon pen, and that probably won't end well for one or the other of that group. I'm not sure where the zookeeper who's supposed to be assigned to this area went. Surely this isn't him. It is. Stop wandering way the hell out there, you piece of shit. Okay, black leopard. Black leopards, I remember correctly, want almost entirely rainforest. But I think they might want some grass and stuff like that too, so we'll not do the whole thing yet. We'll do half of it, and then we'll put a shelter in for them. And we'll add the cat climbing tree and a few other things like that that they like. I think they like the rock cave. Most cats do. I just don't research at most games, so I end up using the shelter, concrete shelter instead. We don't have the cat climbing tree unlocked yet. Really? Okay. We definitely got to get rid of some lions. I might as well sell these 2 young ones too. Well, that'll work. Okay. We have 3 Komodo dragons, which should be okay. These guys like foxtail palms, which is good because they're a nice quarter tile. Quarter tile trees are the best way to get suitability way high. Okay, that's a good start. All right, let's go ahead and buy a pair of black leopards. Too much grass, not enough rainforest floor, not enough dirt. Would like a toy. Large elephant shelter. I'd like one of those. Do they like any amount of grass at all? Yes, they do a little bit. Too much dirt. Come on. Somebody buy something at a restaurant. There we go. Happy with more rocks, needs more foliage. We're up to 90% already. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's add a little bit more foliage. Just a little bit more. 93. Okay, good enough for who it's for. We'll add the toy in once it's researched. It'll go over here somewhere. Also, I just noticed it's 10:58. Which means we should probably wrap this up. Okay, we have too many saltwater crocodiles. Means we'll just sell some extras. Turn the foliage off so I can see what I have for kangaroos and stuff. Kangaroos aren't complaining, so we'll leave them alone for now. There are 4 warthogs. Okay. Remember correctly, black leopards are an endangered species. That's one reason why I added them in. Because endangered species gives you 10k when they finally breed. And we can get 10k from them and the white Bengal tigers. It's just banking future money, basically. Every endangered species we have in the zoo is another little improvement. I need to get some unicorns. They're super expensive, though. We probably won't end up getting unicorns until it's close to the end of the game, and I'm just goofing around. But anyway, let's go ahead and save the game before it gets any later. Yeah, we're making pretty reasonable progress. We finished 1 year almost in game. We have 2 more years to go. We have 10 exhibits out of the 15 we need. So we have a whole year to build 5 more exhibits. Well, more than that, actually. We've done, well, we have 2 whole years, technically. But we do need to breed the pandas too, so we need to leave time for that. So we've got a year, more or less, to get the pandas in place. And then we'll probably have a year of just goofing around while we wait for the pandas to do their thing. So we should finish this scenario next stream, probably. We've been averaging about 2 years of gameplay per stream. Spent a lot of time paused in this one, so yeah. Oh well. Tomorrow is Friday. However, while it would normally be EDF, unfortunately that's not going to work this week. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'll have to think about it. Maybe we'll get started on the weekend early and play some Sniper Elite. That's probably not the worst idea ever. I'll have to see. But anyway. The weekend, of course, will be Sniper Elite. Do that Saturday and Sunday. Then Monday, we'll have some good old crab champions. Tuesday and Wednesday, we will probably play some Warframe still. Yeah. And then next Thursday, we'll continue with that scenario. See if I can crank out 5 more quick, suitable exhibits and then continue increasing my cash flow. Get some pandas. Get some unicorns. Anyway. For tonight, though, tonight, let's see. It looks like Avi is playing Total War Warhammer 3. And that is about her only option. Okay. Sure, we'll read Avi then. I'm usually not very interested in Warhammer fantasy specifically, but oh well. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow for whatever shenanigery ends up ensuing. And I will see you all later. Good night and goodbye.